Welcome back to Mega Man Battle Network 2. It sure is boring around here. Land, this piece is what all true net battlers strive for. Also do your homework.
Net battling, that's the only interest he has.
I'll write it on this balloon that I found. Alright, just analyze the data. Run it through virus check first.
Hey Mega Man, I found this USB in a tree. I'm gonna shove it into my computer, okay?
Bleep. Boy, it's gonna be really awkward if the answer's no. I should hope that's what it's famous for. Otherwise, the name's a little weird. Oh wow, you're gonna write about another country? That's very nice of you, Lan. Oh, okay, well, I mean... you could do worse.
Yeah. When I was taking my Spanish classes through high school, we had to do at least one, I think multiple projects on, like, the cuisine of various Spanish-speaking countries. To help convey to us stupid teenagers that not all Spanish-speaking countries are completely interchangeable.
That being said, it does seem like Lan's a little more single-minded, but whatever, it's a jumping-off point. It's fine. Oh, okay, I don't know who you are, but good for you, I guess. Whoop. Hang on a sec. Let me just... Oh, there we go. Alright, now the chase is reversed.
Yeah, anytime there are NPCs chasing each other, I love messing with them like that.
So anyway, somebody abandoned a toy here, so jack in, Mega Man execute.
Why is the Mazinger Z Wi-Fi capable?
Well, let's ask this guy how it is. Oh, okay. Well, he doesn't know. This Mr. Prog is just suffering from abandonment issues. That's cool. And hey, there's money in here. Nice. Yeah, I'm kind of experiencing a Toy Story 3 situation here. Alright, what else we got? Oh, regular up one, nice. Eventually you have enough to get some pretty good chips as your default. It seems slow, but it builds over time. Alright, hey Dex, how's it going?
You want me to do work already? No. Fight me instead.
Oh, we bought a support chip yesterday, well... Oh, okay, that's quite the word to use. I thought we were friends, but okay. Alright, so Gutsman 2 is actually pretty difficult. Let's see if this time bomb survives. Yes. I probably could have baited him into punching a bit more, but he does actually have a projectile punch now, so that's something you gotta look out for. If I remember correctly, he does have another surprise in store for us, though. That definitely makes him actually pretty difficult. For now, though, it's kinda just his usual fare, but a little faster. A little stronger, too.
He's the first member of the EXE crew.
Okay, well, oof. I will mention, in case you haven't noticed, I usually do, my folder customization off screen, so if you ever see things change suddenly, that's because I ducked into a computer or something, rearranged things, and then came back, but, you know, I probably could be doing a little more to kind of fix up my folder. This is definitely a game that wants you to grind a little more than I typically do in a Battle Network game, which I am kind of fine with it, but also, I don't want to. Also, there aren't, like, the best points for ducking. Oh, there we go. He's got area grab now. So yeah, that's his other big trick, is now we have less room to work with. Also, you take 10 damage if you're in the front, because it'll just drop on your head. But you do retain that space if that's what happens, so, you know, you're taking damage to conserve your own territory. Okay, well, I got Gutsman V2, so, that's just good damage that hits a lot of things and also breaks a lot of things. Gutsman's just real good, you definitely want him as a Mega Chip. But yeah, like, there aren't a lot of great points to just, like, cut off easily to go grind. I'm not gonna say it's impossible to do that in the midst of this LP, but, I don't usually. I usually just stick with what I get as I just progress, which, again, if you're playing this casually, you might not want to do that. You might want to just stay in areas and fight for a bit to get better things. I will say I do also respect the grind here more, since this is an RPG. That's what I didn't really like about Network Transmission, is it also expected you to grind in a platformer. Oh, hi Airman V2, how's it going? It is kind of weird coming back to Battle Network after doing a remake of Star Force, where you do get to see the boss refights on the map. Here though, yeah, no, it's just the game expects you to walk into weird corners of the internet and get jumped by people.
Yeah. The old standby of, well, gamers will eventually try anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think part of it is also mystery data might lure you in certain situations, so that's how you would know to look for these things. But yeah, for the most part, just look it up, it's easier. And of course, as a reminder, once you defeat the V2 version of a boss, the V3 will appear in that same area in the random encounter list, so by doing this, I have the potential of getting killed by Airman V3 at any point.
Man, you mentioning the V3 version just reminded me, back in the first Let's Play, we were making jokes about Kamen Rider V3 because that was the Kamen Rider we were watching at the time.
God, yeah, that.
That's how long it's been. We're done, we're caught up on Kamen Rider now.
Yeah, we've seen all of them.
Yeah. Zest is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was fucking amazing, holy shit. Anyways.
Yeah. On topics that aren't Kamen Rider, yeah, we're just gonna remove you and then get back to our goal, which is of course going to Yumbland. Though, we also remember that there is a distinct blockade in front of Yumbland, but we're going there to acknowledge that first. We also got the Airman Mega Chip, which is really good. I don't know...
You want to go to Yumbland?
Kids, if anybody asks you if you want to go to Yumbland, go talk to an adult that you trust.
But yeah, I don't know if we're gonna see Airman on this one, but he's another one that actually hits a pretty wide area. He basically just creates 3 tornadoes that can be stopped by a blockade. So like a rock or something will stop his projectiles. However, when he appears, he'll create basically the 3 in front of him. They actually linger in a column for a bit. So, if you manage to catch an enemy in that, they actually take extra damage. So yeah, Airman also pretty powerful. They give you some pretty solid mega chips to start out with. This is what humans call a hometown. Okay, we just have more flappies. I don't remember if I'm showing off anything in particular here because we've seen Flappy before. They kind of do something like that, just not as effectively.
I keep forgetting the rules for the cracked tiles. It stresses me out whenever the character's just set on them.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna fall through.
Keep thinking like, no! It's gonna break! Not how it works.
Alright, so here's the cube that prevents us from getting to any other countries. So yeah, we need an A license. We already knew that, but now we know for sure the characters know that. Food. Food. Lan, you can't go to Yumland until you do this.
You also can't eat food over the internet, man.
First Mega Man gets into Yumland, then he gets me to Yumland. So anyway, yes, we are at another point in the game where we have to do licensed stuff, though it's not all going to be done in one episode, because there's actually a bunch of things that we have to do. For example, we can go to Okuden Valley, through the train now. Now that the story event's done, yeah, we can just go there casually. Alright, we are going to Marine Harbor for now. Right, so... I do have a few things I want to mention now that we're kind of in a, bit of a downtime episode. Huh? Alright, so yeah, Chip Trader's back, and we're getting a mention of it. Alright, so I think I have just enough time to mention, since the LP started today, that also means that I was looking through the manual so that I could get the story for the playlist, because I was include that there. And I think I'm gonna have to interrupt myself briefly, because we do have mail and a very distinct guy over there. So, this mail says it's from unknown, but we know that vocal tick. Which it's a vocal tick, but he also puts it in his emails, just so you know it's him. Huh. I really need to watch the anime so I know how his verbal tick works, otherwise I am just going to keep hearing it as the Donkey Kong, huh!
Just keeps doing vocalizations like it's a New Jack Swing song.
You're not helping, unknown person. I'm never gonna lose this. Anyway. Here's this masked man.
Nice.
Oh geez, that's a pretty nice battle, number of battles to win. So, we shouldn't actually lose to you, otherwise you'll be at 70. So yes, this is Mr. Famous, and he has Gate Man. I feel like some of the bosses in this game are a little overtuned. Toadman wasn't exactly as bad as Sharkman, but he was elaborate in a way I did not like. And now we've got Gate Man, who just sucks to fight. So these guys, surprisingly difficult to avoid. You kinda have to bait them one way, then go around them. Their movement's very smooth and really just difficult to avoid. You can destroy his guys, though. You can actually interrupt him from doing that, so... It's possible to not have to deal with that at all. Also, he's at 420 HP. Let's get him out of that before he becomes a bigger threat. He's already at 69 wins. He doesn't need this power-up either.
I say, why is this guy hitting all the funny numbers?
Alright, well, that's not even the worst part about him, though. You can get rid of most of those guys. There is an HP threshold that he'll eventually reach, and once he does, this battle just becomes obnoxious. Thankfully though, since this is the V1 version of this fight, at the very least, he's not got a lot of HP, so he'll be almost dead when he does reach that threshold. Yeah, that... It might look easy, but it really isn't.
No, yeah, just from looking at that, like, those... I would get hit by that attack every time.
Okay, here he goes. So, initially I thought this was like a punishment for me using area grab, but no, he brings in Remo Gate, which is a really fast gate that just gets in front of you and eventually attacks you. This thing is awful and I hate it. Yeah, like basically you kind of have to wait for it to attack, but it attacks pretty quickly. His actual Buster attack isn't so bad, but yeah, no, you're pretty much waiting for him to do that. Otherwise, you have no time to hit him. And if I remember correctly, it does do damage if you try to wedge yourself. It's either too fast for me to wedge myself in, like, the bottom corner there, or it hurts me. There's some reason that that's not a viable option. It also means this is less exciting. We've got Zeta Cannon set up, but guess what? Even Zeta Cannon is bad in this situation. Because Remo Gate just blocks everything. Definitely gonna have to wait for him to attack here. I hate you so much, Gate. Alright, do I at least manage to get up to him here? Okay, cool. It worked for a finisher. Unfortunately, we did not get a gate chip, so we have to fight a V2 down the line. I will say the good news is, his chip is really good. You want it. But yeah, up until then, oof, I don't want to fight that again. I don't like that boss. That one's kind of bad. Again, this is a situation where it feels like they looked at Battle Network 1 and thought, these fights are a little too simplistic, so like, what if we made them a bit more elaborate to kind of make them more difficult, and I guess in theory it does make them a little more interesting, but it also makes them annoying. At times. There are some good ones, it's not all bad, but yeah. Something like Gate Man, I feel like there's a reason that's an optional fight. Anyway, though, what I wanted to mention before, I was going through the manual, and I did want to mention a few things. For one, the old-style, like, manga-looking Mega Man and Lan are pretty good, but there's also the story, which, you know, those are also always pretty fun. Hey, Longsword, that's actually pretty good. But I love the wording for a few of these. So, let's see. 3 months have passed since the military satellite hacking incident perpetrated by the internet crime organization World 3. All the proper things are, in all caps and in orange, of course. People thought the computer viruses would weaken, but their hope has turned to despair. A new internet hooligan, the Net Mafia Gospel, has actually boosted the virus's momentum. This group has already foisted numerous internet crimes around the globe. Some countries are now financially ruined. So yeah, between that and calling them hooligans when one of the first things they do is blow up a guy who sucks, they don't want around anymore, it's just very funny. But also, yeah, they're ruining the world economy, so I guess that's important.
I guess crypto has done that in real life, so maybe it's not as fanciful as it once seemed. Anyways, imagine you tried to log on to a website in a different country and you had to like go to a municipal building in a nearby city to get a license for it. Like, man, I want to go on pixiv.net for completely wholesome reasons, and I gotta go to my local library and get approved.
I don't want to have to explain that to them.
They don't even know. They don't even know why I want to go to Japanese websites.
I was gonna go a similar route, but just once again, Japanese artists are screwed over in social media.
Yeah.
Okay, so not only do we have to do the A license to progress the main story, in order to get the A license, we also have to do more missions. That guy's also giving the hint, hey, make sure you have a chip that you need for trading quests. It will tell you what you need. But yeah, going in without it is just a bad idea.
Game came back 6 hours short, guys. Gotta pad it out somehow.
So, while we're doing missions, there is definitely a thing I want to mention. There is a particular hack that I definitely couldn't play for this playthrough, but is nonetheless very interesting. So you'll remember last time I mentioned that the G-code is surprisingly pretty overpowered in this game, which is a weird statement to make, but it's true. Again, there's a lot of good things tied to it, and it's just pretty abundant overall, meaning you can do a lot of just good combinations pretty easily as long as you recognize this. So somebody has actually made a bit of a difficulty hack for that. Mega Man Battle Network 2 no G-code, which does exactly what it says. It just removes the G-code from the game, so if you've played before, it's definitely a way to kind of add a little bit more difficulty by taking away kind of the crutch of the game, as it were. However, the reason I say that it's not for people who haven't played it before is, while it is called no G-code, it actually does something a little more. It actually removes the letter G from the game completely. So I should reveal that this is actually MegaMan Battle Network 2 no G-code. So yes, I don't know if it can possibly be that funny for the whole thing, but so much work went into this whole thing. I have brought some of the images from the romhacking.net page of just the title screen got changed in its entirety. There is no G there. Higsby's becomes Hisby's. Gutsman becomes Utsman. If you lose, you get an aim over.
Welcome to Hisby's. Do you want the his or do you want the bees?
The bees. I mean the his.
They have selected the bees.
So yes, just an absolute amazing dedication to a shitpost that does genuinely make the game a little bit more hard if you want to go in without quite as many advantages as you'd normally have. Did these kids get faster? It feels like they got faster. But yes, absolute amazing dedication.
I'm glad you finished up a fight a few minutes ago, or no, a few seconds ago, because I had to double check to make sure that there actually was a G in the busting on the end screen. Because that missing G, just like that could just be in the game.
Yeah, it could be bustin', but it's not. They did remove the G, which is absolutely fantastic. Also, here's Spiky too. I believe they are the V-shaped version of this enemy, so instead of the shotgun effect of hitting one space and hitting the space behind it, it's one up and one down from the point it hits. But anyway, amazing dedication. MegaMan Battle Network 2 no G-code is actually by somebody whose hack I have played before. It is by Prof9, who's also the person who made Mega Man Star Force DX.
Alright. Ode work, Lan. The rest of this video, I'm just gonna be looking at all the G's.
I used to owe to school. But yeah, I don't know the hacking space enough to know if Prof 9 is prolific, but it feels like they are to me, in my interests. Between them and Zinc Oxide, it's just like, okay, yeah, no, they cover all of the range of Mega Man hacks I would need.
So we found this Mr. Pro.
Genuine quality of life, shitpost, and also play as role instead hacks. That's all I need. I got everything I need from two people.
Kill him. Kill that one. Kill that one.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's the evil Navi, but oh god. Clearly the other Mr. Prog is the true villain. Actually, no, that's a lie. This guy's the real villain, because he's introduced the higher tiers of Flamey, and yes, they move. They move so they can get into your row, and they're the worst.
Well, at least you're able to take down one of them right off the bat.
Yes, because I did have chips that gave an elemental weakness, so before fighting this guy, you're definitely gonna want a elemental weakness. Make sure to have some kind of water chip, because in a different take I didn't, and I could not beat this battle without taking hits. Like, it was genuinely impossible, because both versions of this enemy, as long as it's not the first version, move around. So I'm able to at least time this out so that the panels heal before he can destroy more. Yeah, in that other take, impossible. Could not do it. So yeah, you'll recall I mentioned maybe you should grind more. And you know, there's an example why. This is still relatively early in the game. It's not exactly the longest RPG, but we still have plenty of time to go, and they're already tossing enemies that you need to have a strategy for. If you do not have a required number of chips for a quick kill, you just can't avoid damage. I'd call this the Mega Man Battle Network fan hack, but I feel like that kind of hack actually gets too difficult too quickly, but this also does feel a little ROM hacky in that it's just like, yeah, no, did you play Battle Network 1? You know how that game works? Okay, well, you don't get training wheels for this one. Will be nice for the first few bosses, but after that, no, you need to know what you're doing.
I feel like that used to be a lot more common with sequels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, it's definitely not as severe as a fan hack would be, because usually that's just, here's a person who has learned all of the mechanics and does not care about onboarding anybody. Suffer. Which is a genre people like, but yeah, as far as this game goes, it is probably a little bit of my stubbornness for grinding speaking, but I feel like they do overtune a little soon into the game.
I don't like that they pluralize Zenny with an S at the end. It feels like Zenny should just be singular and plural.
I'm trying to think if that's always how it, or if that's sometimes how it is in other Capcom games, but you know, I can't really recall off the top of my head. Alright, I forget if we've seen sorties before. I guess part of this was showing that you don't get Zeta Cannon if you mix up the order of the cannons. But yeah, sorties are just enemies that approach and try to hit you with a longsword. They will eventually use an area grab to make themselves harder and eventually impossible to avoid, but You can kill them pretty easily, even if you haven't done any grinding yet. Alright, so let's see. You know, one thing I did forget to bring up, I need to double check. Let's see. Alright, so yeah, up there, if I remember correctly, yes, that area near the security cube, absolutely under no circumstances until you're ready should you go to the right of that security cube that was down there, because that's where Quickman V2 is. And as you might imagine, the guy who can defend himself is pretty tough in his V2 form. And of course, like I said earlier for Airman, if you do manage to kill him, he now lurks Kodo, well not Kodo Square, but the Kotobuki region of the internet. And yeah, V3 will probably kill you. I distinctly remember back in the day when PA Master was streaming through the Battle Network games, she actually lost a good chunk of progress because she ran into Quickman V3 who did kill her, and, you know, considering her username is based on Battle Network, she is pretty good at Battle Network. I think I said the same thing with Sharkman in Battle Network 1. She also struggles with Sharkman, which should really tell you what you're dealing with. Also, geez, attack plus 30. So yeah, this is the Bug Frag Trader. We've been told that somebody trades for Bug Frags, and it's that guy. He does have some really good chips, but we just need to pick more Bug Frags up first, so we can actually, you know, buy them. Should also probably be buying more unlockers now they have money, but like, what if I need this money for something else? Alright, we also have Fire plus 40, which is pretty good if you have more of a dedicated folder for fire chips. It is just a very high number to attach. The good thing about our current Attack Edition chips is that it just attaches to anything that has a damage value, so it can attach to anything, regular chip, mega chip, whatever. There is like a Navi plus 20 chip, which is specifically for mega chips, so more damage, but it's specified to mega chips instead, so not useful for ordinary chips. Oh, okay. I don't know why you have to stand there. I feel like the gate's pretty self-explanatory, but guess they also wanted Mr. Proc there. Okay, yeah, we got the full explanation here. Just, hey, you see some weird data? There's some weird guy who likes that sort of thing. Give it to him. He'll give you nice stuff. Okay. Got it. Well, you are the suspicious Navi type, but this other guy spreads viruses, so you're probably the good guy here.
There's a sense of urgency here. Look out, land. That's a telltale sign for a phishing scam.
Yeah, phishing scam that has you go into a coffee machine of all things. The Battle Network future is very weird.
Or suffer by curse.
Here, take it.
Oh, frog.
Eat this, Spooky too! Oh, great, my favorite enemy, Spooky. So yeah, these guys will teleport when you get in front of them. Eventually they try to teleport in front of you and lick you, which is a good opportunity to hit them. The big thing about them, though, is that they actually have healing chips, which don't present over their heads like it did in the first game, so if you're new to this one, you probably won't see that coming, and it is a nasty surprise. Ugh. Yeah, no, they are annoying to hit, and do heal each other if you don't instant kill them. I say each other, but there's nothing that's, like, exclusive to healing. Like, if there's a different type of virus on the field, they can't heal that one. Now, that being said, they each only have one, to my knowledge, even though it doesn't show anymore. I'm pretty sure they can't do that more than once. It is still, however, very annoying. So yeah, anyway, I just cut out the back and forth, because there's already a lot of it. We've done a lot of back and forth as it is, so let's just cut back to Koto Square. Give this to you. Alright, well, here's your odd prog. Don't worry though, this guy isn't actually suspicious. This was an examiner, so it's part of the test to get the A license. It's the test before the A license test. Also, it gives you a Recover 30 asterisk, which is fine.
Do you think that guy is like a reformed evil Netnavi?
Yeah, you know, it's always possible. There is the whole thing about, like, oh yeah, government's hiring hackers. That sort of thing. So I'd imagine that happens in the Battle Network world as well. Though it's also entirely possible that, like, there's either the quote-unquote evil Navi is just like a Navi design that criminals like to latch onto, or it is criminal in origin, but then a bunch of people were like, actually, I kinda like that one.
Mm-hmm.
And now the normies are using it.
Careful, kid, you're gonna get sued.
Alright, so back in Okaden Valley, we gotta go to the campsite. I don't think there's anything in particular that we need to look out for on the path there. I mean, there's still that bear, but we don't need to enter the bear for anything. Hey, bear. Yeah, why did anybody think that was a good idea for a mascot? Here's our mascot, Barry, the very real-looking bear that looks like it's going to lunge at you.
More places need mascots like that. Just intentionally horrifying, like anti-children mascots, and kids will still love it. Some of them will. Most of them would probably absolutely hate it.
Okay, den area.
I don't use the net. I don't understand it at all. I don't understand why I can't just jack out. I thought that's how all the kids did it, but nope, apparently not.
Alright, so third and final test. Mission, completely unrelated mission, is to find a program on the net, so once again it's time to go back to the internet and just talk to people who you don't remember being there.
Remember when there was a distinct, like, difference between people who used the internet and people who didn't? Now everyone just has to use the internet no matter what, even if they're really bad at it.
And plenty of people are.
Forget who fucking posted this, but I just keep thinking, like, we need to make the internet lame. Like it used to be. So that people will stop fucking using it and I can go back to having fun on it.
Alright, so yeah, Dex's area is, the fastest way to get where we need to go. So yeah, sometimes you do just need to go to your friend's house so that you can take a shortcut. Alright, well, he's saved, so let's leave.
Now get back on the fucking train all the way back to the campsite.
Yeah, you know, Lan doesn't have to pay for his tickets, but he does have to pay in time. We don't have to see these train rides, but, like, that can't be short, right? Like, this is all the way out in the wilderness. It's gotta be at least a few miles out of the city.
This is Japanese. They do have those bullet trains. Japanese trains are, in fact, very famous for going super fucking fast.
At this point, everybody but Americas are known for going fast. Well, no, I think England's are still kinda slowish.
Like, they need to go fast.
I think they put at least a little more money into infrastructure, but...
Their country's the size of a thimble. Where the hell are they going? Their trains don't need to move fast. They'll get there in plenty of time.
Yeah, so not as much need to go fast as in the Asias. So Japan, China, they've got good trains that we can just look at wistfully and sigh. Anyway, that's it for this episode of Mega Man Battle Network 2. Next time we actually get that A license and go to Yumland. We just had to get all the other stuff out of the way first.